We are here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Tuesday, October 29th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and you're watching News Generation. Today we're joined by Kwon Ji-yeon.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, and Brooke Prince.
Hello, nice to be here.
Nice to have you. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. So it's Tuesday, and we're gonna begin with our keyword news. Today's keyword is airport. Incheon International Airport has canceled its plan to introduce a separate departure gate for celebrities and high-profile figures. Initially scheduled to take effect on Monday, October 28th, the airport reversed its decision the day before, citing insufficient public consultation. The proposal aimed to reduce congestion as the presence of well-known figures often draws large crowds. However, the idea sparked controversy with heated online debates over whether the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. So, Brooke, what are your thoughts on this plan? If this were to take effect, do you think it would have been a good idea?
Well, I've seen videos of celebrities walking through Korean airports, and I have to say, it looks like it could be potentially dangerous.
Right.
You have a lot of people shoving and pushing. I've seen people looking like they're going to trip and fall, and so you could have accidents because people are just so excited to see their favorite celebrities. So I do understand why they came up with this idea as a measure to prevent those accidents and preserve the safety, not just of the artists, but the people at the airport as well. At the same time, I understand why the public is maybe a little sensitive towards having an entrance that is devoted solely to celebrities. They might feel like they're above everyone else for some reason. So I get that it's a tricky issue to resolve, and I just hope that they take another look at it and see what they can do moving forward to protect the safety of everyone involved.
And they might especially be more sensitive during the holiday season when it takes almost hours to actually get into the gate area and the entrance area, right?
That's right.
So, Jian, what do you think about this idea?
Well, the idea of separate gate for celebrities raises interesting points here. While it could reduce crowding, as Brooke mentioned, and offer these controlled space for high-profile figures, many view it as preferential treatment, potentially creating a sense of inequality. And apart from these using the separate gate, there is a service known as Fast Track at Incheon International Airport. This is for diplomats, flight crew, those with mobility impairments, young children, seniors, pregnant women, and career priority card holders, allowing them quicker access through security and immigration. I've personally used Fast Track service before when I was pregnant and having 2 children. I thought this is not as a privilege, but to avoid adding to the line, mindful of the time others spent waiting outside. In contrast, the idea of a separate gate for celebrities is seen by many as prioritizing their convenience for a select few. Thus, balancing convenience with fairness is quite important, and for many, this plan misses that balance, I guess.
Right, so hope the airport gets to strike this balance. Now, meanwhile, Incheon International Airport says it will come up with other measures to prevent congestion caused by large crowds. So I guess we'll have to see. And that was our keyword news for this Tuesday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. It's Tuesday, which means it's time to explore the latest trends on Korea's cultural front. So take a look at the screen to find out more.
If you're a traveler who loves to experience the local culture, when you visit Korea, traditional markets or saejangs might just be your thing. Today on News Gen, we're going to talk about why Korea's traditional markets have become the latest hotspot for young travelers.
Right, so starting off our discussion today, I want to ask you, Jiyeon, are we actually seeing more young people visiting these Korean traditional markets or 시장s?
Yes, indeed. Well, over the past year, nationwide sales in traditional markets have surged by 34% compared to 2019. Visitor numbers have climbed by 25%, and among new visitors, the majority are in their 20s. Now, there's something beautifully nostalgic yet utterly vibrant about Korea's traditional markets. These markets aren't simply places to shop. They are full of history, culture and flavors you truly can't find anywhere else. From lively food stalls offering street delicacies to merchants who have held their family business for generations, for ages, each visit feels like a lively step back in the time with a delightful touch of the modern era added in.
Right. So we're not only seeing those people in their 20s and young people making up the majority of the visitors, we're actually seeing the number of overall visitors to these 시장s rising. So Brooke, I want to also ask you, what do you think makes these 시장s so appealing?
Well, I have to say the clips make it quite obvious, right? Our mouths were watering just watching that. I'm very excited about this topic today. But traditional markets, as delicious as the foods they might offer might be, have been on the decline because Korea's population is decreasing. But apparently they are experiencing a resurgence, which is great. The reason why is because high prices and inflation are causing people to seek out being able to spend less money, but still have a good time when they go out. As a result, we've seen a significant growth in popularity of these traditional markets where you can buy delicious food and vintage items for reasonable prices. But it's not just the prices. Traditional markets have been very clever about how they are marketing themselves these days. So now they are purposefully creating very trendy food items and beverages in the hopes that young people will come to the market and post pictures of these items online. What happens then is you get word of mouth, and before you know it, these traditional markets are now experiencing the boom of success that we're seeing.
Right. So I also want to ask our panelists, these 시장s are no doubt becoming increasingly popular. So I think this is kind of like an obvious question, but have you visited these markets before? And if you have, what did you think about the experience?
Well, I do enjoy visiting Korean traditional markets. Walking there, I could pick up some fresh fruit and vegetables at great prices. There's also the pleasure of grabbing some delicious street food along the way. One of my favorite treats is freshly made rice cakes, which is you can only find in the traditional markets. And of course, I never miss stopping by my go-to spot for some tteokbokki, you know. And when I travel within Korea, I always make a point to visit the local traditional markets. It's a great way to pick up local food or some regional seafood as souvenirs or try foods unique to that area. For example, I always buy 닭강정, which is Korean sweet and crispy chicken at Sokcho Jungan Market, and enjoy seafood hot dog at Busan International Market. I'm going to definitely visit there this weekend as well. And traditional markets are a must for me whenever I go travel in Korea. So, you know, food memories are the best memories ever.
Right. So Juyeon is a regular visitor of these traditional markets. Tell us about your experience, Brooke.
Well, as a huge foodie, I am definitely a fan of traditional markets because there's just such a huge variety of foods that you can try. I agree with Juhyun. I love some tteokbokki and hodok, which is a sweet pancake with many different kinds of fillings.
So
there's also a lot of bang, bread, and pastries that you can try at traditional markets. So I've been to quite a few of them. And when my family visited Korea, I was also very determined to get them to try some Korean street food, and they loved it. We went to Gyeongbokgung Palace, and the great thing about this area is that it's not just one tourist attraction, it's kind of a cluster of them all in one spot.
There, right?
Yes, so there's the Tongin Market, and what's special about this market is they have this little hidden gem called the Doshirak Cafe. And if you go to this cafe, you can get old traditional Korean currency called yeopjeon, and you use it to buy traditional food. You put it on a lunch tray, and you can just walk around the marketplace while you are experiencing these new flavors. So if you are coming to Korea, I would recommend trying on some hanbok, going to the Gyeongbokgung Palace, and then walking around. You can go to Insadong as well to get souvenirs, or you can hop over to that Tongin Market that I mentioned, which is one of the traditional markets that's really been gaining popularity amongst our generation.
Right. So you guys both mentioned several markets that you've visited and you've enjoyed, but there are so many options that are available here in Korea. According to Korea's Small Enterprise and Market Service, there are more than 1,000 traditional markets across the country. So I want to ask you, among them, which ones have gained popularity through word of mouth, or is there any other markets that you'd like to recommend to our viewers?
Yes, of course. Well, beyond popular spots like Gwangjang Market and Mangwon Market, I'd love to introduce a few hidden gems. For instance, Dongmyo Market, located in Dongdaemun District, is a flea market known for its electric mix of vintage clothing. One foreign reporter highlighted the unique fashion scene at Dongmyo Market, particularly focusing on the 동료 아저씨 style fashion that has attracted fans both in Korea and internationally. 동료 Market is also known for its old electronics, even rare books can be found in its second-hand bookshop that is. And also there is Seoul Pungmul Market. This is located in Dongdaemun-gu district. It offers a nostalgic journey with traditional Korean crafts, everyday items from the past, and beloved local foods. Then there is Gyeongdong Market, also in Dongdaemun-gu district, famous for herbal medicine and health ingredients. It even has a unique cafe located in a remodeled old cinema.
Right.
And unlike the past, when these markets primarily attracted older customers, now they are drawing in younger crowds. So in response, merchants and businesses have joined forces to create pop-up stores, develop new menus for the youngs, and enhance services, all to welcome more visitors.
Right. So the 시장s you mentioned, the markets you mentioned, kind of show that they're not all about food. You can also find vintage items, crafts as well. So a lot you can explore at this diverse range of markets here in Korea. So now let's listen to you, Brooke.
Okay, well, we've covered a lot of markets that are located in Seoul, but I want to highlight some other places that are outside of the city. For example, let's start with Danyang Gugyong Market. Now, this market was once struggling to stay afloat because it's a smaller market that's in a rural area. And again, like I mentioned earlier, Korea has a decreasing population. But it is now a must-visit attraction, welcoming 8 million people annually, many of them amongst the MZ generation. And they were drawn in by social media posts that highlighted the star of the show, local specialty garlic. And so if you go to this market, you can experience garlic dumplings, garlic fried chicken, even garlic ice cream. There's garlic stir-fried pork and garlic sundae. So if you are a fan of that ingredient, I think you would love this market. There is also the Sokcho Tourist and Fishery Market. In 2010, a facility was installed to draw in seawater to the raw fish center tank. And what that means is that if you are a seafood lover, you can always experience fresh seafood there. Now, at one time, 60% of the over 500 stores in that market were vacant. It was very deserted and sad, but now it's thriving. There are 850 stores that are doing very well. And one last place I want to highlight is the Youth Mall. And this is located at the Jeonju Nambu Terminal Traditional Market. And it features a commercial area that has restaurants and handicraft shops owned by young entrepreneurs. Now, this youth mall has been gaining a lot of popularity because it adds a very vibrant and youthful energy to the area. Overall, all of these markets have one thing in common, and it's that they've decided to adapt with the times. They are renovating and trying out new recipes and new marketing techniques in order to bring in young people. And now that's why we're seeing that traditional markets are doing very, very well.
Right. Now we're running out of time, so I want to ask you guys really briefly, from a tourist perspective, especially from those abroad, what do you think makes these markets so appealing or attractive?
Well, traditional markets are truly a hub of local culture. While Korea is known worldwide for its advanced technology, state-of-the-art, it's also famous for its friendly and welcoming spirit. We'll call this Cheong in Korean. In these markets, you can experience the genuine kindness of Koreans, even watching vendors add a little something extra, like an extra piece of apple, fruit, or a sweet twist donut, or we call it gwabegi, as a small gesture for visitors. Traditional markets are where you feel that warm and human touch.
Right, you can have that heartwarming moment if you visit a traditional market in Korea. What do you think, Brooke?
Well, as a foreigner, I think the appeal of these traditional markets is I get to try so many different things that I wouldn't have been able to try otherwise. For example, I tried yukhae, or beef tartare, for the first time at a Korean traditional market. And so I just really enjoy the fact that going to these markets, you get to experience this lively, dynamic atmosphere, all of the colors, all of the smells, and it's unfamiliar, it's new, it's exciting. And so that's why I think that traditional markets are not only popular domestically, but they really draw in foreign visitors as well.
Right. Now, expanding our discussion, we also asked our viewers if they've been to a Korean traditional market, and if so, what their favorite part of the experience was. And let's take a look at some of what they said. If we look at the comments, Eyes on K-pop says traditional markets are often bustling with activity and have a lively community-oriented atmosphere. You can interact with locals, learn about Korean culture, and experience the warmth and hospitality of the people. Robert Dawson 890 says, the food, atmosphere, people, and finding that something special, just what I need at a great price. Giselle 624 says, Hongdae Traditional Market isn't a very popular market, but it has a very lively atmosphere and many good restaurants. You can get good deals on fruits too. You can bargain. I miss this market. Right, so we've taken a look at our viewers' comments as well. Now, for more on this topic, we're going to invite a Gen Z from France who visited these markets to talk with us after a short break.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
So today we're joined by Theo Good, a Gen Z from France. Welcome, Theo, to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us. So, Theo, I want to ask you, when did you first visit a Korean traditional market and what was your first impression?
My first time was probably as a child, so I don't really remember, but coming back for the first time alone to Korea 3 years ago approximately was actually through a street food show on Netflix called Street Food Asia that got me directly to Gwangjang or Gwangjang Market. So I immediately went to this woman's little shop within the market, and she makes mandu or Korean dumplings, as well as son kalguksu, which would translate as handmade noodles, handmade boiled noodles or something. And it was amazing. I went in the weekday after like a class I took. No one was there. I was only with her. She was super nice to me, super friendly. She couldn't speak a word of English, but she was like the best person ever. And yeah, and she complimented me, which was a nice thing in the morning. You know?
Great. Theo, there are so many markets in Korea, even within Seoul. Which one would you recommend to our global viewers? And what's one thing they should try there?
In my personal experience, the two markets that have most like impacted me, I would say, are Gwangjang Shijang. Even though it's like really famous, I would say some of the things there are really underrated in a way. I even had like some dried strawberries there that were really good that they sell kind of everywhere, or their fruit quality is actually really good. You know, if you go to Gwangjang Shijang, I guess it's more for food. But then outside of Seoul, I've been to Sokcho Jungang Market, Central Market, where they have like pool ice cream, which is honey ice cream, and really great seafood. And yeah, I usually go for the food. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, there's others. Namdaemun Market is great for clothes, and I've had great experiences there.
Well, I'm right there with you. I'm a foodie as well. I have one last question for you. Do you have any tips for tourists to make the most of their visits to these markets?
Yeah, I would say bring cash. It's way easier that way. Go on a weekday, I would also advise, because I get a little anxious around too many people. On the weekends, it's pretty crazy. So I'd preferably go in the weekday around 2 p.m. or something, before 2 p.m. And yeah, bargaining I guess you could bargain. I don't, because I feel like the exchange rate is actually great. And you don't really need to do that, but you know, why not? And good to know some basic Korean, but also a lot of them are getting trendy, as you've said before. So people will be easy to communicate with, even if you don't have basic Korean skills. But,
All right, Theo, thank you so much for your time today.
yeah, thank you for having me. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you.
Right, so Theo gave us some great tips for those who are planning to visit these markets. Ending off our discussion today, do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, of course. Well, as Theo mentioned, you should go on weekdays, not on weekends, because it's very crowded. When it's less crowded, you can enjoy the atmosphere there, and bring your own bag. This is also the handy ones for carrying any leftover food, and this will definitely help you reduce waste. And many vendors appreciate eco-friendly choices, and that it's a small way to support them, eco-friendly and snack-friendly. Who could ask for more?
Right. So bring your bag, and also, if you can, visit the markets on a weekday. What about you?
Well, like Teo said, even if you don't have basic Korean skills, you can still enjoy these traditional markets. A lot of them use menus in different languages. They also include pictures of the food so that foreign tourists can understand what they're buying. Additionally, if you do want to have that communication be easier, there are many professional tours that you can find online where you can have your own tour guide or interpreter to help you navigate these places. But again, it's easy enough to go by yourself and explore. Also, my other tip would be don't forget dessert. There are many, many savory places to get food in Korea, but they also do dessert so well. So I would recommend the traditional Korean dessert, yagwa. It's a honey cookie. It's delicious, very popular amongst the younger generation. So make sure not to fill up too much on tteokbokki and have yourself some dessert as well.
From very good tips from our panelists. All right, that's all from us today, but Newsden will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks today to Kwon Ji-yeon.
My pleasure.
Thank you. And Brooke Prince.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. We are News Generations.